Hello friends, welcome to the Trading Temple channel. Today we're going to analyze the Bitcoin chart and also take a quick look at the total market caps to see what they're doing. This is the Bitcoin chart. In the price action that we saw almost yesterday, we saw that Bitcoin was able to set a new all-time high, but the price couldn't close this candle above the old all-time highs. It just touched the new all-time highs and came back down. What you see here, you can see that right now the price of Bitcoin is about $124,000. Bitcoin had a very sharp move upward and was able after about a week to go up by almost 16% in price. And without stopping at all, without making a pullback or forming a flag or anything, it just kept going straight up and tested new all-time highs. The problem now is that with this sharp move and no pullback, we should now expect that there's a possibility Bitcoin might make a small pullback. Now, why should this pullback happen right now? Because right now, the candlestick formation we see here, this candlestick that we see here, is called a shooting star. It's almost the same type of candlestick that has happened before in Bitcoin. This phenomenon consistently happens across all types of charts and a wide variety of tradable financial assets. And this type of candlestick is a bit bearish and causes the price to enter a correction or a small pullback before moving up again. When does this candlestick become invalid? When the next candlestick or any of the following candlesticks closes above the highest point that this candlestick reached, that's when this candlestick becomes invalid. In other words, if a new candlestick closes above this one, it invalidates this candlestick and can cause the price to go even higher. As long as no candlestick has formed above this area, things get a bit complicated for Bitcoin. There's a possibility it might enter a pullback. These types of candlesticks, like you can see here, led Bitcoin into a pullback and a correction that lasted several weeks. Now we have to see what happens next. In the volume we're seeing for Bitcoin, the volume has been very good. It's been green, and compared to previous days when it was red, the price has performed better. Given the current conditions for Bitcoin, if we look at the 1 hour time frame, it's forming a tough T-shaped formation. As I said, if this part starts to look like a head and shoulders pattern, which we can almost see with the left shoulder here, a head here, and now it's working on the right shoulder, and if it breaks down from here in the 1 hour time frame and forms a lower low in this area, it's possible that Bitcoin's price could drop to this level, meaning it could reach the next support level, which is around $117,000. If we take a look at the daily time frame to see where the support levels are, as you can see, I've marked it here. This is support level number 1, which is roughly $117,000. Support level number 2 is close to $114,000, and this support level makes things a bit more complicated. If Bitcoin's price drops down to this area, things will get a bit tough, and it's also bad news for altcoins. Now, how can the situation for altcoins improve given the current outlook we're seeing for Bitcoin? We can clearly see that the performance of altcoins hasn't been very good, which has caused Bitcoin dominance to push up a bit. In the current situation Bitcoin is in, it's only when Bitcoin enters a range, forms a small flag, or the price gradually moves up that altcoins are able to rise. What kind of situations are these? This has happened several times before. Once it happened in this area, and if we go a bit lower, it happened again. You could say that in this section, altcoins performed really well. So if Bitcoin wants to go up, if we copy this area and put it on the current chart, it means that if Bitcoin takes on a similar pattern, it would be better for altcoins. You know what I mean? In this section, if Bitcoin goes up like this, it's better. If all of a sudden its price drops and hits this support level 1 or support level 2, things get a bit tough for altcoins. Altcoins usually go up when Bitcoin forms a flag, meaning its chart looks like this. It slowly comes down and then goes up like this. Or in situations where it slowly breaks out and goes up like this step by step, in these situations, it's very good for altcoins. I've also seen some people on Twitter who have taken the Bitcoin chart from before. For example, they say the situation Bitcoin is in right now is kind of like this. They say that with this recent touch and the new all-time highs it has made, Bitcoin's price will drop, and that this was just a liquidity grab to go above the previous all-time highs, take the liquidity, and then go down. A lot of people say this chart looks like before, meaning it's similar to the part where it took out the previous all-time highs and the price entered a sharp correction. And they say there's a possibility that Bitcoin could enter a heavy correction at this point. Now, what's interesting is that I personally think if support levels 1 and 2 break in Bitcoin, they're right, and we could probably even enter a bear market. At that point, Bitcoin is really done for. If it goes below support levels 1 and 2, because in this area we also have some really strong moving averages that can hold the price. But if those break and it drops lower, you can really say Bitcoin is done for, and altcoins will also see their prices drop significantly. But in the current situation, we have October, November, December. These months have usually been good for altcoins in past years, and they've also been good for Bitcoin. So it's possible that we might enter an alt season. If the scenario I mentioned happens, meaning Bitcoin gradually enters a range, on the weekly time frame, many people are also comparing it, as you can see in 2021, when Bitcoin made a new higher high. In this part, you can see on the weekly time frame, here we have a downward divergence, and right now many people are comparing this to the conditions of 2021. That's absolutely correct, and Bitcoin is most likely gradually losing its momentum. And we can also see that we have another divergence on this side as well. Overall, Bitcoin situation is a bit complicated and difficult. The only problem is that if Bitcoin can break through this trend line in the RSI and move upwards, that would be good and this area would be broken. That means all of this has been valid and Bitcoin's price could enter a new range and test new all-time highs. Now let's take a look at the total market cap of all of Bitcoin crypto. As you can see here as well, new all-time highs have been recorded in this section, but the candlestick that has formed here is the same candlestick we just talked about. This is a shooting star and things are a bit tricky until the following candles close above this area. This is still valid, so let's see what happens next. With the price that Bitcoin has had in the past few days, it has really shocked everyone. Now let's go to the chart. In this section, you can see the total market cap chart excluding Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stablecoins against Bitcoin. This is the chart you're looking at, and you can use it to identify when alt seasons have occurred. In this section, you can see that alt season happened in 2021, and in the previous sections, you can see that alt seasons occurred in 2017 as well. In 2016 and 2017, we basically had two alt seasons. You can see that in 2021, when alt season happened, this chart was almost breached. It's been almost 1,100 days in the bear market. And now, as you can see, after 2021, it's been 1,500 days in the bear market, and there haven't been any good changes. But up until the last moves it made in this section, there was a very good move, and now it's almost testing a resistance that's been there for about a year. And what's interesting is that I've talked about this before as well. This chart only moves when Ethereum is able to break its all-time highs. And you can also see here that in 2021, when Ethereum broke its all-time highs, right now, Ethereum is close to its all-time highs. This blue line you see is Ethereum, and Ethereum is now close to its all-time highs. And look, in 2021, when Ethereum broke its all-time highs, it caused the alt season to happen. You can clearly see in this part that we had a multi-month alt season which lasted for about 4 months. And you can see that this alt season started right when Ethereum broke its all-time highs. It's possible that this could happen in 2025, meaning this year as well. And in the current situation, Ethereum is in. If it manages to break its all-time highs, it's possible that altcoins will finally get moving and make some big moves. For now, the situation with altcoins is complicated. Most of them haven't moved much, and for some coins like Zcash and several others, we can see that they've had some really good moves. We'll have to see what happens in the coming week. For now, we have to hope that Bitcoin's price doesn't drop too much and that it either enters a range or gradually starts an upward move, so that this movement of money can flow into other altcoins and also for Ethereum to break its all-time highs and move upward. That was today's analysis regarding Bitcoin and the total market caps. I'd appreciate it if you like and subscribe. And don't forget, trading is never 100% certain and everything depends on probability. And I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. Until the next video, goodbye.